Section 1. The Gathering Storm. A witness to nature's fury. A dark wall of wind moved fast across the field. That raw, simple observation is where the terror begins. This is not a movie scene. It is real footage, captured by someone who stood at the edge of nature's immense and unforgiving power. The sky, once a familiar blue or a gentle gray, had turned a sickening shade of green and black. A loud, deep roar began to fill the air, a sound often compared to a freight train, but one that carries a unique, primal dread all its own. This video captures the very moment a tornado, a violent, rotating column of air, decides to tear through a town, reminding us of our vulnerability in the face of such meteorological force. Before the main event, the footage shows a world holding its breath. The day may have started with an unsettling stillness. Birds, sensing the drastic shift in atmospheric pressure, would have stopped their songs and sought shelter from the sky. Then, the first signs of the storm's approach become undeniable. The wind picks up with a sudden, forceful gust. Trees that have stood for decades bend violently and sway violently, their branches groaning under the strain. Loose dust and debris begin to swirl and fly, creating a hazy, chaotic curtain across the landscape. The camera, held by a trembling hand, struggles to remain steady. The shaking lens mirrors the fear of the person behind it. That long, deep rumble intensifies, growing from a distant hum into an all-encompassing roar that vibrates through the ground. The tornado is now close, a defined, swirling funnel descending from the ominous cloud base. It moves with a terrifying combination of speed and purpose, an unstoppable force of nature on a collision course with the man-made world. The video does not attempt to hide the raw, unfiltered truth of the moment. It serves as a stark, visual testament to how small and fragile human structures, and indeed humans themselves, are when confronted by such overwhelming power. The initial moments captured on camera are a study in contrasts. There is the eerie quiet before the storm, followed by the deafening chaos of its arrival. There is the beauty of the natural world, twisted into a monstrous and destructive form. Section 2. A spectacle of destruction. Analyzing the footage. As the tornado makes landfall in the video, the destruction is both immediate and catastrophic. Houses that stood just moments before in the path of the storm begin to shake, then violently disintegrate. Shingles are peeled from roofs and sent flying like deadly projectiles. Doors are ripped from their frames. Entire walls explode outward from the intense pressure change. Cars, weighing thousands of pounds, are lifted and rolled down the street like children's toys. The sound of shattering glass becomes a constant, sharp counterpoint to the deep, grinding roar of the wind. The camera pans to capture the scale of the devastation. A small wooden shed splinters and vanishes into the swirling debris cloud. A large barn is deconstructed in seconds. Its metal roof crumples and is tossed away. All of this happens with a speed difficult for the mind to process. The footage forces the viewer to confront the brutal efficiency of the tornado's power. It is not a slow, creeping disaster. It is a sudden, violent erasure of the familiar world. Amidst the chaos, the human element remains, deeply moving. People stand at a safe but vulnerable distance, stunned and afraid. A small child instinctively clutches an adult's hand. The child's face is a mask of confusion and fright. Onlookers' expressions tell of shock, helplessness, and sorrow. Yet the footage reveals first sparks of human courage. It captures neighbors checking on one another, the first steps toward a long, difficult recovery. The sounds recorded are as impactful as the visuals. The overwhelming roar of the wind dominates, shaking the camera. Punctuating that roar, the sickening crack of trees snapping in half, the screech and bang of twisting metal, the crash of structures collapsing. Sometimes a brief, eerie silence falls as the tornado's core passes. Then the cacophony returns with renewed intensity. These sounds make the scene terrifyingly real and the peril undeniably clear. Section 3. The Science of the Spiral. How tornadoes are born. To understand the terrifying event captured on camera, it is helpful to look at the simple science behind a tornado's formation. These powerful storms are born from a specific set of atmospheric ingredients, most often found within a larger storm system called a supercell thunderstorm. The process begins when two very different types of air masses collide: warm, moist air near the ground, cooler, drier air above. This setup creates a very unstable atmosphere. The warm air is eager to rise. The next crucial ingredient is wind shear. This is not just strong wind, but wind that changes speed and direction at different altitudes. Winds near the ground from the southeast, winds higher up from the west. This difference creates a horizontal rolling motion in the atmosphere, like a giant, invisible tube of air spinning on its side. This spinning tube is the seed from which a tornado can grow. As the warm, moist air from below begins to rise rapidly into the thunderstorm, this powerful updraft can tilt the horizontal tube into a vertical position. Once tilted vertically, it begins to stretch and narrow, like an ice skater pulling their arms in. The rotating column of air, now called a mesocyclone, spins faster as it tightens. If this rotation reaches the ground, it becomes a tornado. The video shows the end result, a fast, narrow column of violently rotating air and debris. It can move quickly and change path without warning. Scientists and meteorologists use Doppler radar to detect these rotation patterns, often before a tornado forms. This allows the National Weather Service to issue tornado warnings, giving people critical time to seek shelter. However, the transition can happen with breathtaking speed. This footage is a reminder that even with advanced technology and timely warnings, storms can still be unpredictable. Be prepared long before the sky turns dark and the sirens begin to wail. The raw footage does not end when the tornado dissipates. It continues, panning across the aftermath, where the true human cost of the storm is laid bare. The camera moves slowly over scenes of profound loss. We see homes with their roofs completely torn off, exposing the intimate contents of bedrooms, exposing the intimate contents of living rooms to the open sky. Broken windows stare out like vacant eyes from otherwise intact walls. Personal belongings are scattered across lawns, across streets, stripped of their context and meaning. A child's toy truck lies half buried in a pile of shattered glass. A framed family photograph rests face up in the mud, a captured moment of happiness now surrounded by devastation. These quiet, still images are often more heartbreaking than the chaotic violence of the storm itself. They remind us of what is truly lost in a disaster like this. While the focus is often on the monetary damage to property, the deeper loss is one of security, of memory, and of place. A home is more than just wood and brick. It is a sanctuary, a repository of a family's history and hopes. The footage forces us to contemplate this loss, to understand that while things can eventually be replaced, the sense of safety and normalcy that was shattered in a matter of minutes can take a much longer time to rebuild. People's lives have been irrevocably altered, yet amidst the wreckage, a different and more powerful story begins to emerge. The story of human resilience. Almost immediately after the wind subsides, the footage captures the first signs of a community coming together. Doors of damaged homes open, and neighbors cautiously emerge, calling out to one another, making sure everyone is safe. People begin to climb over debris to check on the elderly, to check on families with young children. This instinct to help, to connect, and to offer comfort in the face of shared trauma is a powerful testament to the strength of the human spirit. The disaster has stripped them of their possessions, but it has not stripped them of their humanity. Soon, the first wave of official help arrives, and the video documents their organized efforts. Firefighters navigate carefully through streets blocked by fallen trees. Police officers navigate through streets blocked by power lines, conducting search and rescue operations. Emergency medical teams set up triage areas to tend to the injured. Before long, volunteers from neighboring towns appear, bringing bottled water, food, and blankets. This part of the footage, showing strangers helping strangers and neighbors supporting neighbors, offers a profound sense of hope. It illustrates a fundamental truth. In the darkest of times, the bonds of community can provide the light that guides people through the slow and arduous process of recovery.